Civil society of Ukraine has developed dynamically.
Civil society organisations suddenly became influential. These are brave, uncompromising and honest people. We can inspire other people to take action.
Our task is to become a free, strong and democratic country. Ukraine and Ukrainians have demonstrated a unique experience to the world.
We changed the course of the country during Euromaidan.
Just like in the whole country, our transformation has been immense, both in intensity and in impact. Over the last 10 years, civil society of Ukraine has developed dynamically. It all started when Ukrainians took to the streets in Maidan and said that they did not want to live in the country as it then was. They choose European values. They choose freedom. They choose Europe. International donors and partners have played an extremely important role in supporting this ambition. And during this period, they have supported development of civil activism, civil society initiatives, and civil society organizations.
Justice is the main driving force of our organisation. These are brave, uncompromising and honest people. We changed the course of the country during Euromaidan. Automaidan was established on the 30th of November 2013, right after the brutal beating of student protesters. On the night of the 30th of November, a Facebook post was written which said, "Friends, those of you with cars, let's get together tonight." In other cities, people started setting up local automaidans.
We all came to rally driving our cars, and it has gone on like that ever since. After the Maidan, the situation evolved, and we decided to get engaged in social activities to improve the situation in our country.
Then, state automobile inspection officers were told to revoke all Automaidan activists' driving licenses. More than 50 activist cars were set alight one night. They beat us up, and 14 of our people were put behind bars. Automaidan was targeted by one of the laws adopted on the 16th of January 2014 that banned convoys of more than 5 vehicles. In 2014, after the Revolution of Dignity, we all got together and started thinking what to do next. We agreed that we need to respond in some way, not by putting out fires and dealing with problems. We needed to do something that would solve the root of the problem, which is corruption, global corruption in all spheres of life in Ukraine. Together with partners, we lobbied and advocated to set up the National Agency on Corruption Prevention and National Anti-Corruption Bureau of Ukraine. We began to give live briefings every Thursday, where we would explain the key events of the previous week. We initiated judiciary reform. We developed a bill that helped to launch a competitive selection of candidates to the High Qualification Commission of Judges of the High Council of Justice. Together with our partners, we advocated that reputable international experts should sit on all committees. Now, these competitive selection processes are held in a transparent way. In Automaidan, we have a goal that guides all our other objectives and considerations. Our goal is that one day, Automaidan will not be needed anymore, because all agencies, law enforcement bodies and courts will operate according to the law. There'll be no need for anyone to oversee these officials and to remind them, no, you have to do it right, do it as the law says, don't take bribes. So they will not accept bribes, and if anyone does take bribes, they will immediately be reprehended by our anti-corruption agencies. A new society is being born now. One when there is no place for corruption in this county. One that lives with a sense of justice. One that wants to live in a successful, strong and democratic country. After the Revolution of Dignity, we understood that the price paid by Ukrainians for signing the association agreement and then obtaining EU candidate status, the price paid for all these changes, for changing Ukraine's direction of development, was very high. People paid with their lives. After that victory, we must work even harder. Civil society organisations suddenly became influential. It was the fruit of the seeds sown by us, little by little. Those 10 years of our work were not in vain. The mission that we defined for ourselves was as follows: educate and inspire people to develop themselves and their communities. In 2003, several youth NGOs of Cherkasy and the Cherkasy region joined their forces and set up a coalition of youth NGOs named Young Cherkasy. When we started this activity, when we told people about NATO, when we told people about the European Union, about active civil society, you know, at first, we were taken for the village idiot. But we were pleased that the young people became a real driving force. We really felt that those 10 years of our work were not in vain. Then we took on a new activity, communicating about reforms. New reforms were launched: anti-corruption, decentralisation reforms. We worked on civil servant screening for corruption committees. We monitored procurements and took part in anti-corruption actions, petitions, motor rallies, vigils and round-table debates. Our mission was to explain to people what was really going on. Anti-corruption reform. Now, Semen is awaiting trial, and he is afraid of the judiciary reform as well. And then we rebranded. This was our second large-scale transformation. This is our logo. It symbolises the sun rising above the horizon, and a new day beginning, a new day and new changes. And the sun rises to show the way to this fair, open and democratic society. We have already gained a lot of experience in engaging local communities in decision-making. Now we are in the city of Turin, in a really cool place named Hut Hub, Free Space, which has been founded by Dina Hayasonova, a participant in many of our projects. They came to our city with a proposal of a project titled The Development of Small Towns. Before the war, we worked with children, the younger generation and with adults. We held various masterclasses and training sessions. We reviewed this work at the beginning of the invasion. Some IDPs lived here until they found a better place to live. In the heart of the Kolodny Yar Forest Tract, there is a village named Malinki. In this village, on the edge in the Chuchu-Pakiv Yar ravine, there is our hut called Kata Skrayu, hut on the village edge. We looked for ways to renew our energy, to balance up our psychological state. So, we bought a small house in a village. And little by little, we changed its layout to make it suitable for hosting various events. Our dream is to turn it into a powerful place in central Ukraine, to provide psychological support to civic activists and volunteers who are taking on a huge amount of hard and very important work today. Our activity is a natural extension of the values that we profess and live daily.
To provide protection to life, to provide protection to trees.
An appeal from Odesan residents to the democratic Odesa, to the democratic Ukraine.
The spirit of Ukrainians who plant trees in the most difficult times is indomitable. I do believe that we will win. For me, everything began with the Revolution of Dignity. It was then that I began fighting corruption through environmental protection. French Boulevard is one of the most famous heritage sites in the city of Odesa. The destruction of trees on this street meant the destruction of the boulevard. About 1,000 people came to a protest rally. Pressure from the public is not enough. Achievements need to be confirmed by court rulings. Such parks, as a rule, fall victim to real estate developers. This area is a city garden. Due to our efforts, this space has been provided protection from the state because now it has the status of a significant site of landscape architecture. There was a massive protest. More than 500 people came out onto the streets. We won the court action. There was an initiative, Green Odesa, which we implemented with the support of the EED. Near the city of Rivne, there is a tree tunnel named the Tunnel of Love. We thought it would be really great, beautiful and romantic to have a similar green tunnel on our Fontanska road. We registered Greenleaf as a media outlet and started to provide content for the website. We struggled for almost 2 years to create the Kulyanitsky National Nature Park. We held public debates, we sent appeals to the committees of the Aarhus Convention, to international committees, to the Bonn Convention. The President of Ukraine upheld our appeals, and eventually a project on setting up the Kulyanitsky National Nature Park was signed into being. The team-building process and the formation of the park management team was never finished because the war broke out. Our task is to become a free, strong, and democratic country, and we will do it. It is quality journalism.
By showing examples of someone else's achievements, we can inspire other people to take action.
They help us transform Ukraine into a quality, efficient, and democratic country.
Our history began after the Revolution of Dignity. It was a moment when we all felt such great excitement. We all wanted to do something for the country.
The Ukrainians media is an independent media ecosystem. We are an organization that makes products in various formats ranging from books to podcasts and storytelling. We tried to find industry leaders and we talked to them.
These were intimate conversations about what success means to them.
We would like to build a quality media company of our own, without any financial influence, based entirely on our revenue, on the support of our readers, on the support of partners. We want to show that it's possible to do this. We have the Ukrainians magazine, where we tell the stories of Ukrainians through interviews. We have the Creatives project, where we profile leaders of creative industries. We run Healthy Person News, where we try to develop critical thinking in younger people. We do a lot of podcasts. This is our glory wall, as we call it. We have a project called Do It Well. It's about volunteers. Our Homo Codas podcast series is about the success stories of Ukrainians who went to work at top technology companies.
Reporters magazine specialises in journalistic literary essays, presented as long-read real human stories. Our essays are a sort of vaccination against intolerance, and they help to educate people to accept others as they are.
The whole process of development and changes took place in parallel with the growth of our team and growth of our audience.
During these past 8 years, our team has expanded. Now, we have 25 people. We have created a community of readers, a community of the Ukrainians.
We give them our magazines as gifts. We hold meetings with them. We produce special bags for them that make them stand out in the street. It's a process of permanent feedback and interaction. We are all about democratization, about the importance of reforms, about the importance of being active, about a different European Ukraine. Starting from 2013 and until this day, I think that we, just like the whole country, have come an incredible way in terms of intensity and transformation. Today, we live in a totally different country than before. The Promprilad project is an effort to create a physical platform that offers opportunities for a great variety of initiatives to develop. The EED supported us from the very inception of the Faine Misto, Warm City, NGO. It was our first institutional grant partner in Faine Misto. Now again, during the war, the EED is supporting us in developing the ecosystem of Promprilad.
European Endowment for Democracy was established to support civil society. Not just society, but civil society. That means the active part of the society. This is always the most important part of the society that leads to changes, that leads to transformations. And this is our top priority, to support active society, the people who want to change their country for better. So far, since Maidan, we are working with the Ukrainian civil society. We are supporting many initiatives all over the country. And well, I can say that the initial idea to support active people to simply do what they want to do for their country, this works. So these are the results that we were expecting, and these are the results that we achieved. We see these people from the start of the project till the end of the projects they are working, and what is more important, they continue their work after they finish project with us. And this is the most wanted and most expected and most beautiful result of our support.
Ukraine and Ukrainians have demonstrated their unique experience to the world. This is not just because a smaller country is standing up to a big enemy. Also, civil society has united and become as one. After Euromaidan, war has been an ongoing fact of life.
Many Automaidan participants joined the army and went to war.
With the first explosion, as they say, we were already here. Each of us is ready, having received an order to go where we are needed.
We moved to Lviv and lived in an office. I had such internal... Well, now I sleep on a mattress on the office floor. But it is all just temporary. I can pack all my things up and go home.
We started supporting volunteers and started volunteering.
We set up Automaidan headquarters in the first 3 months after the war began. Every day we used to send 5 to 6 trucks with humanitarian aid to the east. On one day alone, we could send up to 12 tons of food products. We spent all the money we raised on materials for first aid kits. Thanks to such first aid kits, we have already saved 2,700 soldiers' lives. We organised first aid training courses. We received and purchased medicines for IDPs in the military. We also help NGOs move from occupied or war-torn areas to the Cherkasy region. Part of the team got engaged in volunteering. The number of war crimes committed by Russians is overwhelming. And one law enforcement agency or one NGO is not enough to collect all the documentary evidence.
We started collecting evidence of the Russian aggression against the environment.
We started translating more texts into English because we felt there was a demand from the Western audience for these human stories. The trees that we can see here now have been named Victory Alley. Actually, now, one can see quite a few such tree alleys planted in the city.
To overcome the enemy or to overcome corruption, we need to unite and help each other. The whole civil society of Ukraine has united to achieve just one goal: victory. Today, we are doing our best to make this victory happen as soon as possible. But we are sure that the results that we have achieved over the decade must not be lost. We must not allow that to happen. It is important for us to maintain the momentum of the development of civil society organizations and to continue to improve. After the victory, working together, we have to reconstruct Ukraine and make it even better. It will be truly democratic, and Europe will be proud of Ukraine.
The future of Ukraine, of course, depends on many factors, but the main factor always is society itself. So I hope that the war, that the previous transformation and the post-war transformation will lead to the level of civic education and understanding of democracy that will prevent any future collapse of democratic process. This is not for granted, because we never know what future will bring. There may be many other dangers for democracy, not only external, but also internal. So we hope in the future to support all projects that will prevent Ukrainian society from drifting away from democratic path. And this is where I see the most important part of our support, of European Endowment support, and also other donors' support. But I see also here the most challenging part of the future recovery and reconstruction of Ukraine. Ми віримо в Україну разом до перемоги.